We've had some very strong winds, some wind gusts between 60 to 70 miles an hour earlier this morning. That is not the case anymore. And we've had our storm trackers out since very early this morning as well, starting out with Jed Castles. And man, it was coming down when it started in the northwest, western Oklahoma, moving through Clinton, Weatherford, everywhere, and then eventually making its way into central and south central Oklahoma. The flooding, the rain rates were just so high. These are some power outages, or some power flashes that Val had around Eakley. The storms really started to strengthen up quite a bit, and the strong winds, some hail, some heavy rain, just a little bit of everything very early this morning. Even had a tornado warning. So yeah, people getting stuck in some of that high water, their cars just stalling out, doing exactly what we hope that you don't, that we try to mention every time that it rains. Turn around, don't drown. You're gonna probably have some issues. Why do that to yourself? But yeah, a lot of neighborhoods looking like this, especially in and around Norman, western Oklahoma. Let's actually go to Marty Logan. Marty's been around Arapahoe, out in western Oklahoma, where we've just had a ton of rain. Marty, go ahead and tell us what we're looking at here. Give us an update.
I'm standing here with Wade Anders, County Commissioner, District 1. You see that big pit behind me? It's 50 feet wide, 30 feet deep. It was full of water. It has drained a pond right back over here to our side. They've had 15 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks in this area. That's the reason for the big ditch. Wade's got a lot of work to do. Back to you, Cassie.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it. And this is another reason why we tell you not to go into flooding waters, because sometimes you just don't know what's happening underneath of it. You could end up somewhere like that. Val and Amy Castor, they've been on some wind damage out around Gracemont. Val, is that a barn? Go ahead and give us an update.
So, Cassie, this is the town of Gracemont, and there was a lot of damage. I think 75 to 80 mile an hour winds just ripped through here. There's fences down. There's all kinds of tree branches down. The Gracemont Assembly of God lost its carport awning. It just flipped over the whole building and destroyed. This is a pretty large metal building here with the roof just ripped off. So quite a bit of damage here in Gracemont. Back to you.
Yeah, going to have to do some cleanup here over the next few days at least. And Tom and Rob, they've been in the South Metro, in and around Norman, where it floods just so easily. Tom, go ahead and tell us what we're looking at here.
Yeah, this is one of probably at least 20 cars that I've seen that stalled out. I'm on 48th and Robinson, and this whole area is notorious for flooding. And I'm going to pan over to the right, and there's a new lake here in West Norman. As far as I can see, this whole field is just full of water. So it was a pretty bad rainstorm here in Norman. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Tom. Yeah, a lot of people having some issues with all the rain that came down very early this morning, and we still have some rain that is falling. Let's go ahead and go. There we go, to Links 1. And what I'm looking at here is I'm taking the clock all the way back to 8:20 this morning. This is when that very strong wind went across Highway 281 just north of Gracemont, and that's that damage that Val was looking at as it really started to ramp up, and it really started to tighten as it moved over to near Pecassin. That's where Jeremy is. He's on some other damage, and that is where we ended up having that tornado warning. No confirmed tornado, but certainly a whole lot of wind. Justin May sent this in from Carnegie, so lots of damage there, lots of hail, especially when the storms initialized out in far western Oklahoma. It was coming down in buckets, almost looked like snow. But now just a severe thunderstorm watch in far eastern, southeast Oklahoma, one severe thunderstorm warning, so things are really starting to wind down. But lots of storms started very early this morning, late last night in the north and west. But here's Storm Shield 9. We have some strong storms still across the far east, still some flood warnings, some very heavy rain across the far east of I-35. Here in the metro, not nearly as much rain. It's light rain to even some drizzle, so it's finally coming to an end. But in the southwest, we do have some light to moderate rain around Rush Springs, Marlow, Duncan, Elgin, and then moving into the far southeast. It's still going to be a while before this rain actually comes to an end. Picking up almost 1/4 inch here in Oklahoma City. A lot more, though, out to the west, officially 3.26 out at the Weatherford Mesonet sites. Wind gusts were a whole totally different story. We had gusts over 70 miles an hour out in western Oklahoma earlier today, not nearly as much here in Oklahoma City. But yes, power outages are still in the thousands, and we still have over 100 customers even in Oklahoma City. Temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s across the state. The true cold front is just to the north and west. It's not going to cool down, but things are going to start to be a lot quieter once a cold front moves through. So right now, this is our American Fidelity camera, part of our Pike Pass Skycam network, just cloudy for the most part. The storm system is going to continue to track off to the south and east, and later this afternoon, we're going to clear out the OU softball game. You're going to be just fine later this evening. Temperatures will try to make it back into the upper 70s later today, so storms will end from the northwest to the southeast. Just a low chance for some additional severe storms in far southeast Oklahoma. And then overnight tonight, some isolated showers possible. Same story tomorrow morning. Nothing like what we've had the past couple of mornings. Tomorrow, we're looking for highs in the mid-80s. Tomorrow evening, another chance of storms in the Panhandle. Tomorrow night into Friday morning, a slight chance of storms in the metro, higher chances in the far eastern half of the state. By Friday afternoon, it's looking pretty nice and very warm. This weekend looks just plain hot.